it does present the next step. And I'm glad you spoke about what you did just now, because it reminds me that we need to that it's a good advice to share with everybody, that you're not going to be able to react proactively versus reacting. And we talked about a little bit earlier how we always react, and we don't really pay attention to our inner voice or the intuition or the higher self, because we're so busy chatting in our mind and we're not staying here in the moment. Anabel was saying, how if we're empowered, it's because we're here now. And when you've got all that chatter going on, and you're sitting there and you're complaining and you're thinking about all the horrible things the TV is telling you, and all the horrible things that your neighbor said about you, and all of these dramas, life is going to have its obstacles. That's a fact. But if you're constantly pondering it and constantly having that chatterbrain, that monkey mind, we talk about this being one of the major obstacles for all of us when we begin meditating and when we begin living an empowered life, that you will not be able to listen to that intuition. You're not going to be able to get that next step if you're too busy chattering and not being silent. And that's where the practice of meditation would come in. That's where the practice of even just calming the mind for 3 minutes a day if you need to. Sometimes I can't even do it for 1 minute because I've got things to do, but it's that reconnecting and doing it constantly that really is going to teach you and train you to think a little clearer and staying here in the moment. Also, there's diet and all those other kinds of things, but I don't want to get into that because I just got off all these medications, which has been very helpful, I must say. But all kinds of goodies are involved, and the first one is slowing down that monkey mind and slowing down those thoughts. As far as moving into a space where we can literally begin to trust that, it's going to take some steps, and to be able to trust that inner voice is going to take some steps. And I just definitely would like to share that it's going to take, probably starting with meditation. I just got a little nudge on the skull, and we're probably going to get a little affirmation momentarily. But before we do the affirmation, we're going to close with an affirmation today. But before we do that, Anabel, I just wanted to hear any last advice that you can give to people, because again, you're just such a great example of being a busy mom. Can you give our busy moms some advice on how to stay a little centered? What do you do, just as your daily routine as far as staying spiritually aware?
Well, as a student of A Course in Miracles, that's probably my stability at this time in place. And every now and then I go back to it, and I just take a moment, and I make it a point to, when I am at the point where I'm starting to feel a little bit of stress, my spirit just tells me, go back and read a paragraph, or take a moment and actually just be silent and breathe and choose peace instead of the mind chatter or the joy's hand. And I have, again, learned to stick with my commitment. With moms, the biggest fear that I have for a lot of moms is that they do for everybody else except for themselves.
Yeah.
And they think that that's okay. They think that I'm a mom, I'm supposed to think about everybody else. It's the whole martyrdom thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't work. It does not work for us, because ultimately, in order for us to take care of everybody else, we have to take care of ourselves so that we can be at our best. And when we talk about sin, preventing anyone from reaching their highest potential, and that includes yourself, is terrible. And as moms, we have to have that little bit of balance, that we can come back to ourselves and take care of ourselves. It doesn't take a half hour, it doesn't take an hour. We have such limited times as working moms, but it takes 2 minutes. It takes 5 minutes of stepping back a moment and saying, here, I am here now, and I am present in a state of godliness.
Yeah.
And I can take this present moment and realize what I am, who I am, and why I am, and choose peace, just for 1 moment.
Absolutely.
And then just ask that the rest of my day be guided by that which created me. And boom, you go ahead with such higher feelings of gratitude that you start to wonder to yourself how I ever did without this. And then before you know it, it becomes a habit, and you begin to do it more and more until it's part of who you are. And that's what I did. I made it part of who I am because it was natural. And there's no other way for me to be except my natural state of being.
Amen to that. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. That was great. That was a lot. That was very helpful. It's even helpful to me, and I'm not a busy mom.
Please, you are a busy mom.
Oh, yeah, I'm the mom of tens of thousands of people, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, we only have a few minutes left. I want to thank Anabel for another wonderful episode of MPower, and I'd like us to end the show today on a positive affirmation. So we're not going to go into a full-blown meditation, but let's just take a deep breath and kind of ground and center ourselves and just quiet the mind a little bit. And let's remember who we are. Let's remember that we are important, that what you feel is important, that what you are sensing and thinking is important, that you count, that you are the creator of your life. You are the one in the driver's seat. You are the one who creates your next success or failure. It has nothing to do with the external world. It is all with what you expand, express, and consent to share within your mind and within the world and the inhabitants of that world. Remember, you are love. You are a part of God, Goddess, and Source. And therefore, that means you're very special, very important, and if anything, you are a creator. And remember that you are love, and you are loved, because we love you. I know I love you, and I love Anabel, and I know Anabel loves you. And with that, we're going to be closing up the show. We will be back tomorrow for a very special episode of Go. We're going to have Go Green tomorrow with iBiocom founder Raul Barbosa from Rio de Janeiro. And Raul Barbosa is also known as Swimming Bird, our GIC administrator. And he will be joining us for the 2-hour show tomorrow from 10 to 12 Eastern Time. Make sure you join us. We're going to be discussing different techniques or different our power, basically, of purchasing to make the world a greener place and to help save the planet. As well, I will be traveling to Miami next week. I have some surprises up my sleeve. So this next MPower show will be live from Fort Lauderdale, followed by Monday will be Go from Miami. If you are interested in booking a session with me, please get in contact with the GIC somehow. I do have about 4 sessions left. Besides that, we're going to have all kinds of good times, and I'm going to have all kinds of fun experiences, and I'll be able to share all those great things with you also. And the GIC school has taken off. We're doing very well. We have our next lecture on Tuesday, the Lightworker Lecture Series. If you would like to be a member of the school, you will need to register as a premium member of the GIC social network. If you're interested, again, just contact somebody or click on the GIC school registration button on the front page of the social network. We're down to the last 20 seconds, so I will just tell everybody how much we love you, and thank you, Anabel. And we will see you. We will see everybody tomorrow on Go Green. This is Dr. Bernard Alvarez with Reverend Anabel Montalbano. Thank you for a wonderful show. We'll see you next time.